Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this video. My name is Danny with Knuckle Puck Camera, and this is a how-to video on molding your custom knuckle grips. When you first make the purchase, you're going to get a Pelican case like this in the mail, and on the inside you'll see that on the lid there is an instruction card with a step-by-step process of what we're about to do right now. This is obviously a little more detailed, but there is a simple version here. If you need to reach out to me, my email is danny@knucklepuckcamera.com. And then at the bottom here, you'll see a QR code, which will give you a couple resources for my contact information, finding a FedEx or a UPS location drop-off, etc. And then in this envelope here, you're going to find your return label, as well as a packing slip. The packing slip is really just for me, so you don't need to worry about that. Leave that in there, as well as a zip tie. And then in the bottom here, you're going to find a little Ziploc bag. And then the most important part, obviously, are the grips. So go ahead and take those out off the rosette mounts here. You're going to see that they are levitating in the case, which we want to do when we return so that they don't get messed up in shipment, obviously. All right, if you have access to a camera or a dummy camera, I suggest that you put that in handheld mode, attach the grips like so, and get it to however you like to have your grips in handheld mode. So the reason for this is that we want to create your impressions on the grips in the position that you are most comfortable in. So if you like them here, if you're out here, however, try to mimic that so that your hands are in the right spot when we make these impressions. You won't be here very long. We're just going to give it a nice squeeze once we feel like our hands are in the right spot. Give it a good squeeze here. What we want to see is where our thumbs and fingers go, because right now that I've given it a good squeeze, we're done with this camera. So go ahead and take them back off. And now we can kind of get into the more detailed work here. And we're done with that. So we'll start with the right grip first. And the first thing you might notice is that there's quite a bit of clay here. I try to give you more than enough to work with. If you like this size, then you're more than welcome to use this size. I don't like it specifically, so I'm going to go ahead and just tear this off. And again, these grips are custom molded to you. The shape and the size are completely up to you. So go ahead and have fun with it and figure out what works best. So I'm tearing off a little bit at the bottom. I'm tearing off a little more. I like to take out a little bit from the pocket here. And okay, so as far as size goes, I'm pretty happy here. You want to start forming the bottom here and just smoothing out the edges, and smoothing out any of the imperfections that you have. The clay is going to transfer over to the final product. So if you have a crack or a fold in the clay, you're going to see that in the rubber. So take your time with this. This is an instructional video, so we're moving through it pretty quickly, but just set aside 30 minutes and just really sit down with this and just make sure that you like these and that you're happy with the final product. So we're just going to smooth this out a little bit. Use your finger. You'll start to see it smooth out. Use a little bit of water if you need it. That kind of helps glide your finger over the clay. And then once you're happy there, we're going to move over to the top. You'll see that the aluminum and the clay meet pretty nicely. It's pretty flush. Just give it a once over. If the clay is starting to creep into the aluminum, just go ahead and rub that off and just create a nice defined line all around the edge. We want these to look pretty as well. Once you're done with that and you're happy with the way your fingers are landing in the clay, then just look over here. Any sort of cracks again, any imperfections, just take your time, go nice and slow, and just smooth those out. All right. So as far as this one goes, I'm gonna say I'm happy with this. We're gonna attach it back to the rosette, make sure it's on there secure. We don't want the clay hitting the edge of the case, and we don't want the clay hitting the other grip as well. These are going to come back to me pretty securely, so make sure that they're not bumping into each other. And then same thing with the left hand. Make an impression, make it the size that you want. You're going to smooth out the surfaces here, find those imperfections, smooth them out, get a good line here between aluminum and clay, and make them the way you want them. If you mess up and you're not happy with this is clay, this is not going to harden, you can just roll this back into the original form and start all over again. So don't feel too bad about messing up, because you can always start over. Like I said, this doesn't harden, so you have all the time in the world. I'm going to say that I'm happy with this. Attach that to the rosette. Make sure it's on there tight. Make sure it's not going to wiggle loose. Okay, and then take this little baggie, and any excess clay, just dump it in here. This is recyclable. I'll be able to reuse this, so please send that back to me. You do have a little bit of space, so you're going to have to kind of give that clay a little bit of a squeeze to make it fit. All right, pull out your return label and your zip tie. The packing slip can stay in there. And shut this. Throw away the old label, put the new one on, and then you're just going to drop this off either at UPS or FedEx or post office. Whatever carrier you chose when you made the purchase is most likely going to be the carrier that will take the return. But just look at the label, trust the label. If it says UPS, it goes to UPS. If it says FedEx, it goes to FedEx. Again, my email is danny@knucklepuckcamera.com. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And then this gets shipped back to me, and I'll start working on your final grips. Thanks for watching, guys. And I look forward to making your knuckle grips.